Hi, and welcome to our group presentation about social identity theory. This project is presented to you by Bridget, Becca, Thomas, and Scott. So, what is the social identity theory? According to an article posted by the Smashing magazine, our social identity influences our everyday life whether we know it or not. The author of the article, Victor Yoku, explains the social identity theory as the way we use people around us in our life in order to have a reference point for our attitudes and behavior. This means that humans typically analyze what is happening around them in order to form their own attitudes and beliefs about life. There are three cognitive components behind the social identity theory, and those include social categorization, social identification, and social comparison. The first component is social categorization. This is the process where humans organize individuals into social groups in order to understand the social world. By using this process, we can help define people on the basis of a group that we belong in. We naturally tend to define people based on their social categories more than their individual characteristics. So for the first example of social categorization, will be from a clip from the movie Mean Girls. I believe it's a prime example of social categorization because in the clip, one of the characters is explaining the different social groups from their high school based on their shared interest. The character in the scene is explaining the different social groups based on their interests at their cafeteria lunch. The character basically formed opinions in her mind based on the groups of people that sat together in the cafeteria and draws a map to explain these different groups to the other character. In the next slide, we will go ahead and watch this clip so that you can get a better glimpse of social categorization.
Here, this map is going to be your guide to North Shore. Now, where you sit in the cafeteria is crucial because you got everybody there. You got your freshmen, ROTC guys, preps, JV jocks, Asian nerds, cool Asians, varsity jocks, unfriendly black hotties, girls who eat their feelings, girls who don't eat anything, desperate wannabes, burnouts, sexually active band geeks, the greatest people you will ever meet, and the worst. Beware of the plastic.
The next category is social identification. This is basically a process of identifying ourselves as a member of a group. When we socially identify with a group, it causes us to act in a manner where we think, the members will act the same way. This translates perfectly to buying products we think people within our social group will buy. An example of social identification would be as explained as on the previous slide. The social identification leads people to act and behave the same way they think members of their group should act. An example of social identification would be if a member of an animals protection group that decided to stop eating meat since he's convinced by the fact that the members of the group would do the same. So basically, it's just making a decision based on what you think the group might do. And then there's a little gif there. You're eating meat? The next component is social comparison. This is the last component. It is the process in which people compare their group with others in terms of social standing or popularity. We put ourselves into these groups and compare ourselves to others in different groups in order to maintain self-esteem. An example of social comparison can be broken down into two different groups. The upward comparison is when we compare a social group to another that we believe is better. For example, a music group can compare themselves to a more talented group in order to improve and visualize the work that needed to be done at this level. The next example would be for downward comparison, when we compare our social group to another that we believe is worse. For example, when a music group could compare themselves to a less talented group in order to regain confidence in themselves. So a way that social identity theory is used in marketing today would be an example from our textbook that we have. We pulled this straight from our textbook, and it's a little snippet from the textbook talking about marketing opportunities using the social identity theory. It says, we tend to think of running as something you do on your own, but today you're much more likely to run with a group. People train with friends and participate in charity runs together. Many of us are moving far away from running alone at home. Sales of home cardio equipment like treadmills are way down. Instead, people gravitate towards competitions like Tough Mudder, obstacle course, or fitness classes. New Balance is picking up on this new trend as the shoe manufacturer promotes its Runovation campaign that focuses on running as a social activity. One print ad carries the headline, "Redefine Girls' Night Out," as it shows a group of women running together. Some go out, others go out, and make excellent happen. The night is yours. This is Runovation. So from the example from our textbook, we see that the marketing team for New Balance has tried to market their products based on the idea that people like to work out in groups. By showing these women working out together, it allows consumers to feel compelled to buy their products based on the togetherness they feel from the ad. People want to be known as part of a group, so if marketers can make consumers feel a part of one by buying their products, then they will probably be successful. So these are our two handouts. From our group to you, we want to say thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and stay safe out there. Thanks. Bye.